What is up, everybody? This is your boy Dedrian from House of Wrestling, and this is my review for the debut episode of AEW Collision. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification so that way you're notified when the House of Wrestling drops its latest content. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. So, first off, I want to say if you're wondering why my voice sounds kind of strained or what have you, I attended the first ever episode of AEW Collision. It was a ball. It was fun. I'm gonna go over like I do in my most recent reviews. Things that stuck out to me that I uh, really loved about this show. The crowd was energetic. Um, I'm gonna touch on the stage design and everything. I have yet to watch the actual television show and listen to Nigel McGuinness and Kevin Kelly and Jim Ross and everything. But being there live in the crowd, man, it was an experience. The energy was off the charts. And man, it was just a fun show to watch on a Saturday night. Being there live was just fun. And man, I'm really looking forward to next week's episode and just the collisions going forward. I've been to a Rampage. I've been to a Collision. I have yet to attend an AW Dynamite, so I do have to attend one. I might thinking about contemplating it, attending the Dynamite this Wednesday at Wintrust Arena. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. But man, overall, man, this was a fun show. Man, CM Punk, man. I don't know what else to say, man. That promo he cut, um, it it how do I say this? It still blurs the lines. And talking to a colleague of mine yesterday, man, for me, is it a work? Is it a shoot? We don't know. But man, I can tell you after that promo and then after the amazing main event, that was a fun six-man tag match at the end. Um, man, it feels like with this show, AEW has not completely, but they've pivoted the conversation of, well, AEW does this, not like WWE, and the whole comparison of AEW, WWE, and stuff like that. It just feels like after tonight, that conversation is pivoted to, okay, Collision did this. I need to see what Dynamite's gonna do. And then when Dynamite does something, ooh, I need to see what Collision does. And I think they've um, kind of like created their own. Um, I don't want to use the term war, but like their own competition in a way. Not saying, oh, they're gonna have their own champion. Nothing like WWE or anything. It just feels like that competition of, man, which show is better, which show is gonna outdo each other, and I think it's gonna be fun going forward. Um, man, we saw Andrade return, we saw Miro return, and those reactions for Miro and Andrade were, man, that was spectacular, man. That was fun, man. I'm glad to see those guys back in the match between Andrade and Buddy Matthews. That was a fun match. Uh, the way, man, oh, man, that was so fun to watch, man. And I'm looking forward to see where that goes. But enough of me talking everything. Let me just go into the things that I really enjoyed about this show. Um, First off, okay. I'm looking at my notes. I have it backwards, so I'm gonna start from bottom to top, which it makes sense when you listen to uh, what stood out for me. I'm gonna start off with the AEW Collision stage. When I walked into the arena, my seats were section 106, so it was literally straight ahead. And for those who are going to watch this review, I am going to post some of the pictures on the YouTube community section, and I'm going to post it on House of Wrestling's social media accounts and everything. But I had dead center seats elevated, so I was looking straight at the entrance, like not obstructed or low or anything, like right a little bit above it and everything. Man, that stage looked very beautiful, man. I loved it. I love the design. I like the color scheme and um, just the tone that they want to set with the graphics and everything and how the stage is set, the ring aprons, the ropes and everything. It just has a nice feel of action. Like it's active. It did give me some type of WCW Monday Nitro vibes. And the reason why I say that, not because, oh, well, it's TNT. No, I've actually attended, with the exception of one Nitro in Chicago at the United Center. I think I've attended maybe one, two, three, four. I think four Nitros when they used to come in Chicago and everything. So just the color scheme, I'm like, man, this is pretty. This is really cool. But man, this show, that stage, man, it is a beautiful stage. The way they had it set up, um, honestly, I think it's better than Dynamite's stage because they have the two screens and then the one vertical screen in the middle, and it just fits perfect for the wrestlers coming out, and it's very like futuristic. Like it has that futuristic, updated, progressive feel where it's like, oh, I'm watching something that's going forward. Not saying other promotions aren't going forward, but it's like, man, this is really progressive. It's like, ooh, this has a really good look. But yeah, man, that stage, that was a beautiful, beautiful stage. And man, I'm really interested to see how that stage looks in other arenas and everything, and just how the vibe is going to be in the other arenas. I know next week, and I believe for the next two, no, not two. I think for the next month, they're going to be in Canada and everything. So I don't know. Hopefully those tickets. I think after tonight, I'll talk about that later. But I think after tonight, like some ticket sales are going to be going up. It's like, ooh, that's what Punk's on. Okay, I'm buying a ticket. So outside of that, I mean, the Chicago crowd for this show, it was on 10, on point. I don't know. Again, like I said, I haven't uh, watched the actual television show, um, or the television broadcast. But man, that crowd there live, man, they were energetic, into it. Everyone was vibing. Before the show started, there were chants. What's funny is that before the show, there was nothing but LA Knight chants during the whole was the Ring of Honor taping, and I didn't get a chance to stay after Dynamite and watch the street fight and everything. But man, the it was just the LA Knight, yeah, yeah, and all that, man. It was a vibe, man. It was a really cool vibe there. Uh, Saturday night, it was like people just wanted to have fun on a Saturday night, and I think that's something that's going to separate Collision from basically all the shows during the week, because this is, quite frankly, um, the only wrestling show that's on a Saturday that's of the big companies. I know in the Chicago market you have Wild Women of Wrestling that airs, but like a live wrestling 2 hour wrestling show, like what they did tonight really sets the tone of them separating themselves from, the other wrestling shows that are during the week, and that's their own Dynamite and Rampage and Raw and SmackDown and NXT and Impact and MLW. Like this really distinguishes um, what we see on the during the week and everything. But man, this crowd was lovely, man. Miro returning, he defeated Tony Nese. Really good match. Kind of hulked up during a certain point of the match. I loved it. He came out to a big reaction. That's a guy I'm looking forward to where they're going to go with them. Um, is he going to go after the TNT title? Is he going to go after the international title? I don't know. We'll see. But man, I'm glad that he's back. He looked good. He looked great. The match against Tony Nese was the right amount of time, everything just flowed with that match. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I know some people might see things differently. And man, it's fine. But man, I'm glad Miro's back. Where's my Miro figure? I got my Miro figure. There he is, right there. My Miro figure, right there. Um, so I'm glad that he's back and everything, and looking forward to what he's gonna do. And his entrance on that collision stage was, man, that was beautiful. Mm, man, that was so beautiful. Then from there, did not expect this to happen. The way the previous weeks have gone with Wardlow as TNT champion, it's like, okay, Wardlow's gonna win. Wardlow's gonna win, and this was the opening match of Collision, and I remember talking to my dad there, and he was like, I didn't think this guy was gonna win. I thought, oh, he's gonna, Wardlow's gonna win, and blah blah blah. And Luchasaurus is the new TNT champion, so uh, gonna see where this goes. It just Wardlow hasn't been the same since Double or Nothing last year. It's like the momentum that he had going into Double or Nothing, it got construed and just like hindered from MJF not showing up at the signing. Like all that just like really hindered him. And I don't know what they should do with Wardlow. Um, of course, turn him heel or this or that. I mean, now that I think about it, and this might be a goofy idea to do it. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below this video. But I mean, honestly, if you put a faction of Wardlow, Ricky Starks, um, Scorpio Sky, and I'm trying to think of who else the momentum. Well, Jungle Boy, it seems like Jungle Boy's going to turn on Hook or something like that, but I don't know if you could throw Hook in there. But like, if you can put a trio of Wardlow, Ricky Starks, and Scorpio of guys that had momentum and it just hindered and it just kind of like just got stagnant and just I don't know lost. It's just really weird. But yeah, Wardlow, man, it's me personally. I wouldn't. As a fan, I don't want to see him go after the TNT title. It just feels like they have to. I don't know if you can rebuild what the momentum that he had before, but it's like there does have to be a shift and change in him in his presentation to get him back into that place. Like, okay, I want to see him as TNT champion. Like, the last time when he beat Powerhouse Hobbs, it was just like, okay, it was reported that he was promised it, but it was just like there wasn't no connection as it was leading up to Double or Nothing when he was going to face MJF last year. Where it's like, man, I want to see him beat MJF. Like, man, world title. Like you felt that connection, and it just feels like whatever. Maybe I don't know time off or something, but it's like that. There has to be that reconnection of, man, I want to see this guy beat this guy. Man, I want to see him just go here. If it's not there now, maybe a heel turn for Wardlow, and that might get some things back on track and everything. Because I mean, he's extremely talented. He has the look. It just feels like, again, like I said, that momentum that he had before last year, leading into Double Nothing, it just hasn't been the same since. From there, we had Andrade face Buddy Matthews. Then he got attacked by the House of Black. So right away, it's like, we're more than likely going to get Roosh, Dralistico, and Andrade taking on the House of Black in a trios battle for the trios championships. I'm all for that. About time, Andrade and Malachi and Buddy Matthews have a feud over championships of some sort. Nothing of going out and the lights go out, come back, and they're feuding with these, with Darby or what have you, and like a feud that's not over a title, but over some weird you made me lose and that whole thing. Again, that's something I'm very interested in and going forward on Collision. I'm going to like that. Andrade's match with Buddy Matthews, man, that was a really good match. the way, like, I've never seen in a match in a long time where both wrestlers were like showing injuries and like doctors came out and checked on them. Andrade, it was his shoulder, Buddy Matthews, it was his knee, and like they played it off, and then Andrade, hooked up, and really cool. I've never seen that. The crowd was, they didn't boo or stand up like, oh my God, are they really hurt or anything? It was just like, what? What's going on here? And when you seen the two doctors check on him, and then you saw Andrade Hogan, it was like, oh, okay. But the crowd was into it. The crowd was into that match. It was fun. Um, you, man, you know what? Tonight with Miro, CM Punk, Andrade, trying to think of who else. Um, those three. And the reason why I mentioned those three, like, I noticed in their matches, they actually slightly changed their style. I don't know if you guys caught that, but like CM Punk, the 6-man tag, he kind of tweaked his, his style. Andrade, it was a very strategic style. He slowed down his style a little bit, so it's like, that's interesting. So I'm looking forward to Andrade and possibly Jalisco and Roosh versus House of Black for the Trios title. I'm all for that. Please give it to me. I want to see that every Saturday and throw in another, trio in there and everything. Side note, I don't have it on my notes. The Acclaimed, they're still over. That crowd loved them. They're dope. They are super over. They are made men, and I think it's interesting because even with them losing the titles and the the feud that they had with Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, and they haven't lost their crowd reaction. Like most of the wrestlers where they kind of, their momentum kind of like hindered. Even Ricky Starks goes along the line with them where he still gets a reaction and everything, but yeah, the Acclaim, they're still over. They are super over. Over, over, over. That crowd loved them. I believe, outside of Punk. Damn. Punk, Miro, Andrade, Sky Blue. Actually, they all had a pretty, well, you had Punk here, and then everyone else was like, you had Andrade and Miro up here. Then you had Sky Blue, and it was Acclaim. They had a lot of pop. And finally, the CM Punk promo. Oh boy, man, oh man! And you guys are watching this. You've probably seen the title for this: One Bill in a Business Full of Counterfeit Bucks. Man, oh man! What I liked about this promo, he came out with the bag, and you could tell it was a championship belt in there, and he made reference to he never lost the belt. Now, mind you, being there live, unfortunately, in my section, there was a group of guys that were like being very obnoxious and trying to be a star of the show when they're at least freaking 175 to maybe 200 rows back. So I could kind of pick up what he was saying and everything, but yeah, that line alone, one bill in a business full of counterfeit bucks. I am, man, like, it has to be a work, right? Like, is it a work? And then, of course, what the Young Bucks, where's my phone at? The Young Bucks, man, what did let me see, the Young Bucks. Their Twitter bio, there you go. Young Bucks, all right. So, after Punk's promo and everything, they put this in their Twitter bio. If it were 2018, we'd already have a, quote, Counterfeit Bucks t-shirt available on Pro Wrestling Tees. Laughing emoji. Kill it, y'all. This makes it, man, it's hard to not think that this is a work. Talked to a colleague of mine again, said it's not a work. So I'm like, okay, you're very trusted in everything, so I'm going to believe, you know, what you're telling me and everything. But man, it just blurred the lines again. Blurred lines. And I'm interested to see where the CM Punk is going to go. During this main event with CM Punk against Samoa Joe, Jay White, and Juice Robinson, there were moments in this match where it was almost like the dynamics changed, where Samoa Joe and Bullet Club Gold were the faces, and Punk and FTR were kind of like heels. Even in Chicago, I was there live. That's what it felt like. Again, I got to watch the broadcast and see how it played out, but yeah, CM Punk, he's back, and you can tell that it's coming across like, okay, there is a heel turn coming soon, very soon. And I came across a video on, I believe it was Instagram or something like that, where the mannerisms he did tonight, where he had the microphone. Oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue. You know, the AEW nameplate, took it off the mic, and he started talking. He did the same thing in WWE when he was a heel with Paul Heyman. And I believe I mentioned this in several reviews for AEW recently, that it just feels like the CM Punk that's returning is similar to the CM Punk that joined forces with Paul Heyman. So I'm really interested in what's going to happen. And I know Andrew Zarian from Madman Podcast, he tweeted like, man, the Bucks versus CM Punk, or the Elite versus CM Punk and, you know, FTR, that is going to be a major money making match if or when that match happens. And I'm all for it. Man, is this going to happen at All In? Is this going to happen All Out? FTR versus Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, or Hangman Page and the Young Bucks? How this is going to play out? AEW has something here, man. They have intrigue. They have interest. You know, I want to see what's going to happen next. You know, with Collision and Dynamite, like I said, it just feels like the conversation, what I've been reading on social media since, you know, I came back from Collision, it just seems like there's this Collision versus Dynamite, and not in a bad way, a good way. And it's like, okay, man, I really want to watch Dynamite to see how Dynamite responds to Collision. And then now, when that happens, like, man, I want to see what's going to happen on Collision in response to Dynamite. So it's, you know, it reminds me of the Bret Hart, or was it the Canada versus USA feud from WWF back in 1997, which is one of my favorite feuds. It just has that, for me, it just feels, it has that similar vibe. So, man, overall, this was a fun show. It was good to see CM Punk back. Again, it does look like CM Punk could be turning heel in the near future. Samoa Joe, Miro, Andrade versus Buddy Matthews, Sky Blue, great. The Acclaimed, great pop. This was a fun show for a Saturday night. And if they keep it this vibe and the main event strong, you have, you know, another, you know, matches that are solid. The women's matches are solid. There's going to be a fun show to watch on Saturday nights. And I got to say, being there live, and I'm going to watch next week, but being there live, there is a different type of feel than watching wrestling on a Monday Night Raw, a Rampage, a SmackDown. It just feels different. Now, I went to a SmackDown when it was airing on Fridays. I went to a Rampage, of course, with the CM Punk debut. my mentor Monday Night Raw. This just feels different, and it's a good different. So we shall see where this is going to go with um, Collision going forward, and CM Punk and his promo. Like this was good. This was good, and you could tell that this is with him coming out with the bag that appears to be the championship belt. Again, I want to stress and specify that he never really lost the belt. He had to surrender the belt because of injury. So, are we going to get back to MJF versus CM Punk? And when we get back to that, more than likely the dynamics are going to change. CM Punk is going to be the heel, and MJF is going to be the face. Which, if that happens, that's going to be very interesting. So, overall, I love this show. It was fun. Man, I can't wait for next week. But I had a ball being at AEW Collision at the United Center. And if you're watching this and you're in the towns, in Canada, that the next few collisions are going to be at, I recommend you, man, go. Because this is a different vibe from Rampage and Dynamite. So go, have fun. It's Saturday. Live it up, man. But that is my review for AEW Collision. The debut episode of AEW Collision. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification so that way you're notified when the House of Wrestling drops its latest content. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. With that, man, I still can't get over that line from CM Punk. One bill in a business full of counterfeit bucks. Damn. We got to tune in next week. With that,